Hey everybody, welcome to a new day, new video. This is Nidhi, your spoken English trainer and personality coach. Today I have come up for all of you with a very interesting and a problematic issue that all of us face as beginners, alright? If you are beginners in English speaking, then definitely this might be your problem too. That words do not come to my mind when I need them, or I'm not able to frame sentences in English. Is that the issue with you also? If that's the issue, then this video lesson is perfect for you. So let's get going into the video to understand how can we resolve this issue, how can we bring the right vocabulary at the right time. So you might have been learning vocabulary since a very long time. And even if I ask you certain vocabulary words that you have learned, you probably would be able to answer them all correctly, alright? So I agree with the fact that you know a lot of vocabulary, but when it comes the time to apply those vocabulary words into your day-to-day conversations with people, those words just do not immediately click into our minds, and then we regret later on that why did I not speak that word at the right time? So how can we actually bring the right words into our minds at the right time? Well, probably you might have learned 100 vocabulary words in a day, okay? And you might be learning 100 words, or 100 is a big number, I guess. Let's take it 50, let's take it down even more. Let's take it 10, all right? So 10 is not a very big number, but even if you're learning 10 vocabulary words, are you really applying even one of those into your day-to-day conversations with people? For example, you learned a new word, extravagant, all right? You learned this very fancy word, extravagant. Now, you know the meaning of extravagant, a person who spends money very much, okay? In Hindi, we generally say herculean, all right? So you have learned this word. Now, are you really applying this word in your conversations with people, or you just have learned it and kept it aside into your memory? Alright, so what I really tell you, even if you're learning 10 words in a day, just take 2 or 3 words, or let's reduce it even more. Let's take one word, just one word in a day. Even if you're learning 10 words, just take out one of your favorite words from those 10 words, and then what do you have to do? You have to incorporate that one word in your conversation on that particular day with somebody. Alright, when you're conversing with somebody, even if that word does not come into your conversation, does not fall into your conversation naturally, what you have to do, you have to compulsorily, forcefully, unnecessarily take that word into your conversation and use it twice, thrice, 5 times, 10 times, as many times as you can, so that the word actually fits into your mind. So the next time you have to use that word extravagant in a certain situation, automatically, you just observe yourself, automatically your mind will feed that word, all right, on your tongue, and automatically you will be able to speak that word in the right situation. So I'm not telling you to focus on all the 10 words that you have been learning, or on all the 100 words that you have been learning. All right, just go bit by bit, gradually. You don't have to take a very long leap, all right, because the longer the leap that you're going to take, all right, the higher would be the risk of falling down, the greater the height of yours would be at the time of falling down. All right, so what you really have to do, you have to take gradual steps. All right, see, vocabulary building is not a one-day process, as we have the very famous proverb that Rome was not built in a day. All right, so Rome is such a beautiful place. Can it really be built in a day? It actually took a very long period of time to build Rome. All right, similarly, the case is with vocabulary. Increasing your word power, increasing your vocabulary is not a one-day thing. All right, or it is not even a 1 month, 1 year thing. 1 year is a considerable period of time. It's actually a long period of time. But do you know about the fact that English language has the highest number of words than any other language in the entire world? So you can just imagine how many words would be there in the dictionary of English language. All right, so can we really learn all of those words? All right, so for one particular word, there are so many synonyms. To express one thing, we have got n number of ways. So it is not possible even in our lifetime to learn all the words of English language. Okay, so vocabulary building is a very long and slow process. So you need to be patient and consistent in your efforts when you are working on your vocabulary. I'll show you one thing. This is actually the diary that I have been maintaining since the time I was in my 7th or 8th standard. And I've been writing down words on an everyday basis in that diary, like whatever new word I learn. Till today, I have this habit that I just jot down that word in that diary so that it fixes more permanently in my mind. Alright, so this is a process that has been continuing since I was a kid, alright, a teenager, alright. So it's been a long time even for me as a trainer of English language that I have been maintaining my diary. If you don't want to maintain a physical diary, just don't go for it. All of us have got mobile phones. We are so tech savvy. So why not use our mobile phones as a means to maintain a store of the vocabulary that we are learning, all right? So maintain a store in your technology, whatever devices you have been using, whatever gadgets, gizmos you use, because we do not, love to carry our notebooks everywhere these days because we have been accustomed to mobile phones. So why not make use of the notes feature in your mobile phones? Why not maintain a digital diary rather than maintaining a physical diary if you're not comfortable with that, all right? Now, the next thing that I would really suggest you for vocabulary building is the fact that when you're reading something, all right, suppose you read a particular word, mulish, all right, you read this word mulish, and the meaning of that word is somebody who is, in Hindi we generally say adyal, all right, so somebody who is really an adyal, that person is known as mulish, all right. So you just read that word, it's in your mind for say 1 hour, 2 hours, for one day. The next day also it's there in your mind, all right? Probably the third day, fourth day, or maybe sometime after that also. That word might be forgotten from your memory, all right? It might happen, but when you would write that word down in your notebook or just write it somewhere, all right? Say 10 times, 15 times, then what would happen when you're writing? So that thing would linger in your mind for a longer period of time as compared to when you're reading. You read it, it took you just a second to read that word. But when you're writing, probably it would take 2 seconds, 3 seconds. When you're writing it for 15 times, all right, it might take say 30 seconds or maybe 1 minute also, all right, depending on the speed of your writing. So when you're reading, the thing lingers in your mind, it prolongs in your mind for hardly a second or two. When you're writing, it continues in your mind for 1 minute, all right. So can you imagine the impact that your mind would, take when you're writing as compared to when you're reading? So I would really suggest you, if you want to maintain a good store of vocabulary in your mind, you want to fix vocabulary more permanently in your mind, then I would really suggest you just write and learn, all right? Learn through writing, because that is a process that, even our grannies used to tell us, that lik kar yaad karo, all right? So this is something that I would really suggest you, write and learn. I would also like to give you a very practical tip. Now, this is so practical that you would also wonder how practical it really can be. I would suggest you that whenever you're writing, whenever you're trying to remember something, what you do, just take this portion of your hand, all right? This portion of your hand. The portion where there is your thumb, all right? So what you do, just take a pen, write down a word over here. All right. So what would happen even when you're, doing any sort of work, when you're writing a letter, when you're studying, when you're even rolling chapatis or whatever you're doing, any kind of work, this hand would be in front of you. All right. So when this hand would be in front of you, even if you go to wash your hands, see, suppose you write something over here, then what would happen? The thing that is written over here would come off easily when you wash your hands with soap. All right. But when you write something over here, I really tell you, this won't get rubbed off very easily as compared to certain things that you write down over here, all right? Because this is a hard surface, the bony surface of your hand. So when you write a word, suppose you learn the word extravagant or mulish in a day, just write it down over here. So when you see, when your eye would fall naturally on that place of your hand, your mind would automatically be reminded of the fact that I have to incorporate this word in my conversation today with somebody, all right? So you would automatically use this word in your conversation, all right? So this is a very practical tip that I wanted to give you regarding vocabulary building. As all of us know that spoken English really holds an indispensable position in every sphere of life, be it professional or personal. So I really have got a great news to announce before all of you, that we are launching our own spoken English course on our app Officer's Mind. The course would be divided into 2 categories, a basic category, all right, the one for the beginners, and the advanced category. That is the one for the learners of English language who have known English language, but they have got problem regarding fluency, regarding vocabulary. All right, so the course would be divided into 2 categories. So we are really delighted to announce the launch of our course. The course will be releasing very soon on our app, Officer's Mind. Stay tuned to our videos and happy learning with me.